Today, we are going to continue with our series of talking about things to do while staying home.
It is, it's really important. There's a lot of extra time. I feel like 24 hours is a little bit longer than it normally is. And so bringing your house onto the market, this is something that we typically talk about in early spring, but because of the conditions, I feel like spring has just been shifted back about 45 to 60 days. And so we thought this would be a great time to bring it back. And one of the things that we always talk about to our listings is that people get to your house and it starts at the curb. And so we really want to focus on taking the time to look at that front yard, and you can start with the most simple thing, and that could be fertilize and water. Fertilize and water is one of those things that really brings the green up, and right now we're getting lots of rain, so it would be the optimal time to get that fertilizer down.
Absolutely. I think I did mine about a month ago,
Looks
and
great.
it really, within a month, you really begin to see the results of that.
Yep. The other thing too is that laying sod down. Sod is an easy thing to do. We used an outlet company the other day. They delivered it on a Saturday morning within 15 minutes of the window. It was amazing. And 2 hours later, an entire yard was laid down. Very, very simple to do. There's a bunch of different grasses that they had. So depending on what your light factor is on your yard, you can use, and it really makes a huge difference. It is one of those indirect features that clients really kind of gravitate to, especially if there's like two homes that they really like and it's just like, which one is it?
Yeah.
Just finishing off on these things makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it really does. And, the shrubbery that now's a perfect time of year to put shrubbery in, because if you put it in the ground a month from now, you're going to begin to see new growth on it.
Yeah. And the other thing too is if you have trees and shrubs that are overgrown and maybe encroaching on windows and whatnot, that might impact the way the house is photographed. Do them before so that you can trim those back, because if you trim them like the week that you have a house photographed, you can really have just kind of like rough spots where you don't have what you were saying, that new growth from that you're going to want, just kind of soften some of the edges.
Yeah, and that makes such a difference in the consumer being able to choose your home over a different one. It is all those little bitty things. And it's like last week we talked about painting and the continuity of painting the entire house. And that's one of those other things that is it's an indirect thing that I don't think people can point at to say, oh, that's what I like better about it, but it gives them a better feeling just overall.
Yep. And the other another item of interest that we think goes the distance is actually, and this seems really basic, and you're like, is this really an item? But it is, and it is the cleaning the windows
Inside and out.
inside and out. Isn't it true, Jeff?
It is. It is. It makes such a difference. We do it every year at my house before we have our client appreciation party, and I appreciate it so much because it just changes the way the house feels and the light that comes in and being able to look out. It changes it dramatically.
It does. And if you have pets, these are one of the, we all have pets and we love them to death, but they are the culprits for putting little paws and putting little noses and making it. And I think that today you want to really relay to buyers a cleanliness. And I think that this is just one of those, and I keep saying indirect because they're not going to magically go like, oh my God, I love how clean your windows are. But we're stacking up elements that create a decision that they can say yes to your house, say yes to the house. And this is one of those things that adds that value. Not only is it clean, but it comes across as maybe there's less germs. If they're caring this much about the way that the windows look, the countertops are that much cleaner. And this could be a house that's so much safer for my family versus somebody that walks in and the house is a little clunky, like there's stuff laying out. So this is two of the big cosmetics. And then we just recently have another great one that came up.
Oh, we talked about the seller's disclosure. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm like,
he was really, Jeff, you were really buying what I was saying. You were like locking that in.
So the other thing we were going to talk about was we've just gotten access to a new product that's called Seller Shield, and it is a way for sellers to fill out their seller's disclosure statement more accurately, do it online, and at the end of that process, be able to electronically sign it and send us a copy of it. And I've sat with many, many sellers at their kitchen table and had them, kind of go back and forth over a 9-page seller's disclosure statement. And it may take them 30 minutes to do the first page. And then by the time they get to the second page, they're like, yes, 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 yes. And it's not always accurate.
No.
So
and it's important to be accurate.
It's very important. 80% of the lawsuits that come out of real estate transactions are over improperly disclosed items on condition.
And people are always of the mindset that, they're never going to find out. I guarantee you that your neighbor is going to walk over next door and be like, so how did they handle that water leak you had under the house?
Yeah.
And you're like, hold up.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being on the seller's disclosure. So it is critical. It is critical. And I think, again, one of the elements that makes this such a great tool now that we have is that it decreases sometimes the amount of face time, but it doesn't decrease the quality of experience that we're giving clients.
Yes.
It walks them through and really makes this make sense. Like, it will highlight when it looks like this is an element that could be a possible problem later on.
Yeah, there are a lot of places in the disclosure statement where if you answer, yes, this has occurred, or yes, it does have this, it asks you to go on and expound upon what that is. And this process actually, takes you to that where you're able to put that in, where many times consumers will check yes and then not say anything else about it. And then, when that disclosure gets sent to a potential buyer, that question's unanswered. So what other questions are unanswered? And, it really does just kind of lock in the experience. The company that provides this service to us does try to sell you an insurance policy against lawsuits that occur, a year, 2 years, 3 years after, but you do not have to purchase that. This is it's really, we're more about the quality of the disclosure that it gives us and the liability reduction that it provides for the seller.
Yep, and it goes to both homeowners at one time, and so it can be filled out and signed by both. And the great thing is that it immediately gets sent back to you and I, which allows us to work with it immediately and get that uploaded. So. Yeah. We love it.
We do. So if you are considering selling your home, number one, call us.
We should have started with that.
We'll get started with that. Number two, we'll have a much longer conversation than what Weston and I just did about getting your house ready. It is one of the things that we spend a lot of time with our clients on because the things that you do up front do make a difference in what that house will sell for. We had one in East Dallas recently that they did everything that we asked them to do, and they got top dollar for the house, and it was a really great experience from that perspective for them, I think. So.
Yep.
So.
Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in for another episode of Sold with Updike Pugh. We've had a great time here. Look forward to seeing any comments that you have and suggestions that you have. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, we'd love to hear from you.
And remember to subscribe, like, and share, and we want to be your realtors for life.